Hello and welcome. My name is Manuel Quintana with Pragmatic Works, and I'm here today to talk to you about another fun topic inside of Fabric, and that's going to be row-level security. But actually not just row-level security, but also column-level security, object-level security, and it's going to be something depending on when you watch this video. At the moment of recording, it's in preview. We're very close to the March 2026 FabCon event. So there could be some big announcements around this specific feature. So it's either you're watching it right away and it's in preview, or maybe we've had some changes and this has become GA. But I'm very excited myself for this feature as it gives us an ability within the lakehouse to kind of centralize all those different forms of security. You may have seen it if you've been working inside of Fabric, inside of a lakehouse. There's a nice little button there that says Manage OneLake Security. Now, we've had this in public preview for quite a bit. It's actually, I think, had a name change at some point in that process, but I really enjoy it, right? If we're talking about a lakehouse, if you wanted to put RLS in there, you had to go the route of using kind of T-SQL commands, using user-defined functions. There's also there were workaround methods that you could do with semantic models. If you wanted to put like the traditional Power BI semantic RLS into play, there were some kind of ways you could go about that, kind of moving away from like user identity pass-through, but that can have its own issues. OneLake Security is really what we've been waiting for and looking for, and I'm very excited to show you that. Let's head over to the browser of choice, head into Fabric, and take a look at the feature that we're talking about here. All right. You can see I'm in a workspace. I have another video out there that was going to be going into the space of looking at how to create, like how to update and manage and edit semantic models using Power BI Desktop. In that video, I talked about how to leverage and take advantage of a sample lakehouse. I've been using that. So literally, it was a sample lakehouse. I just created the semantic model from that, add a relationship, put some measures in there. But realistically, you can do this with whatever you want, right? So once again, this is going to be something we find inside the lakehouse itself. You can see just here. And it is this option just right there. Manage OneLake Security. Like I said, as of right now, in preview. So this is what we're going to be talking about. And when you activate this, I already have, so I won't get the message, but you'll get a prompt saying, hey, this is a feature in preview. If you turn this on, you basically turn this on and you can't turn it off. It kind of changes what options you have available to you. So I've already done that. So you'll notice when I enable my OneLake Security, it kind of brings up this new user interface, which once again, we're going to walk through, we're going to create a role and all that fun stuff. But one thing to be aware of, and this actually, if you were doing row level security in Power BI before Fabric, where you managed roles and then you assigned users to roles and you leveraged DAX to kind of filter your tables, the same idea is present here. I've turned this on and you can see there was a default role. So immediately, if you share an artifact that's based off it, so I have a semantic model that is coming from that lakehouse, in which this report is, of course, tied to. So I've gone ahead and already shared this report with my fake user here. So if we go over and look, and just in case you can see it is that same report, right? If I go over here into the OneLake catalog, I can go to my favorites where I have this item. When I launch this, it's just saying, hey, you don't see anything. And just like before, it's because this user actually hasn't been assigned to any role. The default role, if you grant someone access, they see everything. So if we kind of go ahead and do that real quick, I'll go to my lakehouse. Let's open this up. I'm going to go to the default role that's already been put here, and I'm going to go ahead and edit that and add this individual to it. Sometimes it takes a small moment to do this. There we go. Check mark, added successfully. And like I said, sometimes it takes a second or two. So I'm going to grant that. Sometimes I'll do a little browser refresh here, and then we'll re-access this report here. So OneLake catalog, go to my favorites. Let's go to the report. Let's see if it's that quick. Might have to wait a moment. But oh, you can see everything showing up now. Okay, so this user has full access to this data. Now, let's see what happens when we create a role. We make some specific elements in here and really what this UI interface of OneLake Security looks like. So I'm going to remove this because next time we load it up, it's going to be a little different. We're not going to see as much. So I'm going to put it here, ready and waiting. So back to my workspace where I'm the admin. I'm going to go ahead here, go back to my roles, and I'm going to create a new role, right? And we're going to name this one very specific. In this model, we have 5-dimension tables and a fact table. You can actually see them just here in the background. So I'm basically going to give this role, when we think about the different objects we have, I'm going to give this access to everything except for the customer table. So I'm just going to call this my no customer role, right? Just something I want to do. It actually is one of the visuals on that Power BI report, the one on the left-hand side, that bar chart. It was information showing the breakdown of total sales by customer. But we're going to omit this here, right? So we're going to be granting this. Once again, we could see some changes in the options as we get closer to being generally available. Is it going to be read or read write? Default, of course, is read, because if you're granting someone access, you got to be able to read it. But do we also want to give write? In this case, we're not. And you can just do all data, so the whole lakehouse, or in our case, we want to be specific and choose which objects we have access to. I can hit the browse button and you'll just be presented with a list of the tables and files. I don't have anything in the files section here, so I'm just going to go, as mentioned, select everything except for customer, just like that. Right. And with that, I've effectively set that object level security. Now, of course, I need to say who is going to be part of this role. I could do this after the fact and add individuals post the creation of the role, but might as well do it alongside it. And you can see it's giving me a preview of who's in there. It's giving me a data preview of what exists inside. So you can see everything but the actual customer table is present. So I'm satisfied with this role, and I'm going to go ahead and hit create. Now, let me actually go into the default and remove Pragmatic Works demo so we can get that process going. And now that user has already been assigned here. We can see if we go into the member role, there they are. But when I go to edit, and you can actually do this if you just go ahead and hit permission. So there's kind of two ways to do it, but you can see it says row security and column security. And when I access one, you actually access both. You can see they're just on two tabs. So I've already kind of done something from an object perspective and specified what tables within this lakehouse this role can even see. So that's already done. Now you can see I have a list of the corresponding, like whatever I created that list of. So in this case, those 4 dimensions in the fact table, that's going to be in this dropdown. And for both row security and column security, you basically pick your dimension in question, and then you configure. I am going to leave this to the city table, and I'm going to put in a query here, right? In this case, for this role, I want, because this is the dimensional attribute, and that will filter through to the fact table, I want it so they can only see a specific territory. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a select star from, and it kind of, you see it automatically put that in, city, and then where, and I'm going to just, and there's IntelliSense, right? So we're sales territory. I'm going to do an in statement here, but you can, leverage, this is SQL at this juncture. So whatever we need to do for that filter, like whatever, however we want to filter this, put that right in. And I'm going to, once again, this person can only see the southeast as well as the southwest. That's what I want to kind of do. So I'm going to set that up and hit save. So that takes care of one element, row level security, right? But at the same time, there are some columns inside of Dimension City that I just don't want to make available, right? So in this case, we're basically doing stuff based off of sales territory. So I'm literally just going to go ahead and pretty much get rid of, let's say I just don't want them to see the granular level of other things, just territory. I'm literally just going to go ahead, you can see, and pretty much get rid of everything in here. But I'm going to keep the key, the ID, and the territory. That's it. I go ahead and save this. That's it. If I want to add another rule, I could, but I'm fine with this. We're going to keep it straightforward. But as mentioned, you could go to multiple different tables, create those different rules, go and do RLS kind of logic on other dimensions as well. You have access to whatever your initial choice was for the objects available in the role. You can manipulate the row level security and the column level security for each of those individual tables. So now we have this. PW demo has been assigned this. Let's see the impact of it, right? First, simply the consumption of the report. What we just saw as a reader, going and accessing it. We have a couple of expectations, right? The visualization, I actually have the desktop tool here. This left visual here, the bar chart, is customer. So we eliminated that table in its entirety. Then we have here our total sales in the column chart, which has all the territories. But we've limited it just southeast and southwest. There's also the actual card visual in the upper right-hand corner, which is just total sales. Also the idea, if we filter this down, that number should change to whatever the total is of southeast and southwest together. So that's the expectation here. Let's check it out for ourselves. I'm going to return back to my PW demo user. Hit the favorites. Let's open this up and give it a moment. Sometimes I refresh that browser. Like I said, it takes a moment. We removed them from the role and then we added them to a new one. And there you go. From the 41 billion down to the 13. And if you want to do the math and add these two bars together, you're going to see it comes out right to that number. We don't have access here to this left visual. It tells us, hey, this visual contains one more filters and deleted column. Basically, we don't see this table. It doesn't exist for this user. Completely gone, right? A lot of times, if you're going to add someone to a report, removing an entire table obviously can make that report kind of odd looking, but where this really can be an impact, right, is this user has also been not only granted read access, but they've also been granted build access, which of course this is still going to be in play here. So if I go and I remove the report itself, and then rather than go to the report, I say, you know what, I'm going to go and access my semantic model. Let me switch over to that. And I want to create a new report. As soon as we go in, we notice there is no customer table on the right-hand side. When I expand city, pretty limited on columns. And when I choose the actual sales territory itself, which I'll just switch this to a table for the sake of visibility, what do I have access to? Southeast and Southwest. So as you can see, a really awesome, nice, clean UI and interface that is going to allow us. And once again, I assigned an individual user. You can use a kind of mail group, security group. So you can assign this one place in the lakehouse, affects all the semantic models that's being leveraged off of it. This will also impact kind of exploration from like, if you're connecting to this from like Excel, the idea is we place the security in the lakehouse and basically everywhere where potentially this is going to go, semantic models, SQL endpoints, stuff like that, everything's going to pass through this security wall. Once again, OLS, RLS, CLS, all in one place. I love it. Once again, right here, it's in preview. We might see some enhancements, some slight adjustments. This is amazing. Hopefully you love it as much as I do. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.